Welcome back to the Neshoba Valley Chamber's Business Fed podcast. My name is Melissa Federhoff. I'm the president and CEO of the Neshoba Valley Chamber. Thank you, Eric, for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Eric Calderwood, our guest from Big Red Handyman. And today we're going to be talking about home repairs, maintenance tips, and ways that homeowners can make life easier around the house.
Yeah, great.
How's that sound?
Wonderful.
Excellent. So tell our listeners a little bit about Big Red Handyman and what makes you so special.
So Big Red Handyman kind of started out as kind of like a passion project. I was inside of corporate for 10 years and then just wanted to kind of find more time to be, available for my kids and stuff like that. And so I started a handyman business, and a big passion was being available for my kids, but also just serving the community was something that I was really passionate about.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. And how old are your kids?
13, 10, and 8.
Nice. Those are fun ages, actually.
Yeah, it's a handful for sure.
It is a handful.
Yeah, but they're a lot of fun. They're really good kids. So.
Good. Nice. So what are some most common home repairs or maintenance issues that you see?
I see a lot of mistakes being done when we're putting, people are putting doors in, right? People really want to be a DIYer, and we all want to be DIYers and, take that kind of initiative inside of our own house. But when it comes down to doors especially, and, windows kind of apply too, but doors are one of those things that it's there's an art form to it almost, where it's it's got to be plumb level and square, and otherwise it's not going to seal well. And especially with the winter time coming, it's just kind of an ongoing thing where people are just have so many different type of DIY contraptions that they try to do to keep the cold weather from coming in under the door, and things they buy on Amazon or weather stripping and stuff like that. And it's just let's just take it from the from the bottom here. Let's fix it right.
I was going to say, or if you install it correctly.
Yeah, I mean, if you just put it in correctly the first time, then that's pretty good. But sometimes you get some customers, and this is one of the challenges inside my business is, people don't have the means to replace their door, and that's totally fine. But at the same time, I want to be able to help the people that need the help. So, and that can be a challenge alone.
Absolutely. Are there any seasonal trends or urgent, repairs that tend to come up more often?
It's a lot of doors and windows, especially with the change of the seasons. Right now, for example, we've got 4 or 5 jobs lined up between front doors and windows for houses and stuff like that. It's always kind of a race to the cold season is what it is. And then coming into spring, it's okay, I want a deck, or I need my deck redone. And it's just a flip of the script. Those are kind of the 2 major things that come up seasonally wise.
Okay. Do you have any simple tips or habits that homeowners can do to avoid hefty costs?
Do it right the first time, because you'll end up spending just twice as much money, if not more, redoing it the right way.
That's fair.
Yeah, and it's the reality, because I have some people that do call me and say, I put $2,000 in this deck, and I'm like, well, but all the boards are cut too short, or or the handrails aren't put in correctly, and well, you cut them incorrectly, so I can't fix them because they're short. There's a plethora of things that kind of come into those challenges.
I bet. Are there any misconceptions about hiring a professional?
Inside of my experience alone, I feel like sometimes the handyman thing kind of gets a weird rap, because there's the professional house builders or construction companies, and they primarily only want to do bigger jobs, right? They only want to do a renovation or do a kitchen or a bathroom. And then there's the handyman guy. And we kind of get a funny rap sometimes, because they're oh, you're, just kind of jimmy rigging things or something. And it's some people do, but some people don't. And it's all about, where your, passion is for your work and how you like to leave it for the next guy. So for me, it's people think that the handyman thing is kind of hokey sometimes, or they think that it's, that things can just be fixed for $50 or something because you're a handyman. So sometimes it's a lot of back and forth with customers, and but we just do our best to take care of everybody.
But it's not just you. First of all, you have a team you have people that help you.
Yeah. So I have a helper. He's great. He's been available for everything I need, and then really I have a couple of subcontractors and stuff that I work with when I get into something that's just bigger than what I can do by myself, or just the 2 of us. And they're just amazing people to have around. You find the right subs, the people that equally care about the quality of their work as you do, and you just want to hold on to those people and, give them as much work as you can. It's all about referrals inside this
Mm-hmm.
business.
Mm-hmm.
Word of mouth goes a long way.
And I have to say from experience, because when I was in the condo, I had a need and called you up, and
Yeah, the plug inside the bathroom.
yes,
Yep.
yeah, and so that was fantastic. It was
Yeah.
great to have you as a resource.
I
So
was glad to be able to help.
yeah, thank you. So running a local business can come with challenges. What is one lesson that you've learned?
I think, the biggest thing for me is word of mouth is like such a big thing, especially
Yeah,
inside of a small town.
yeah.
And when I first started out, I had no contacts or anything. I was just kind of starting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of my business just came from like people on the community sites on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
But then, you kind of venture out into different ways to kind of market yourself. Word of mouth is great. I'll say that one of the most impactful things I ever did was starting putting yard signs out. I get people call me all the time from yard signs. It is like from Jose from over at JNS,
Yeah,
just amazing, right? And he did my shirts, and but that's got to be the strongest way of advertising and stuff that I've had so far is just
excellent.
doing yard signs.
Nice. And you're active in the chamber. You got involved and you met people and
Yep.
you met Jose and
Jose and a lot of other people,
yeah,
honestly, a couple of real estate agents, and I've done bathrooms for real estate agents
that's
now. And
great.
then they are, I've gotten calls for kitchens now. I'm doing some kitchen designs now for somebody that got a referral from one of the real estate agents. And so, yeah, it's cool to kind of have that camaraderie with other professionals that
Mm-hmm.
comes within the chamber, because you don't know what's going to come of it or what's going to be like, or
Mm-hmm.
but it's cool because everybody's kind of there for the same reason, and
Yeah.
it's a kind of a heartwarming experience to go through.
Nice.
So
Well, good. I'm glad that we've been able to be part of that for you. So tell us, so you do doors, windows, kitchens. Um,
doors, windows, kitchens, decks, and everything in between. I mean, we just did a toilet last week for somebody that had a leaking toilet, and I replaced like 3 different parts on it. I couldn't get it to stop leaking, and I was like, well, I guess we just need to put a new toilet in. And that's just the reality sometimes, is
mm-hmm.
like we try to fix it for cheaper, right? And we put time into it, and some sweat and tears and frustration
Yeah.
sometimes, but then the ultimate solution was just to replace the toilet. And that's kind of one of those interesting that comes with being a handyman versus being like a plumber or electrician, is that I'm actually insured to touch different trades, whereas like a plumber is only insured to do plumbing work, right?
Yeah.
Electrician only is insured to do electrical work, whereas I'm actually insured to do kind of multiple trades. Like I'm allowed to change fixtures and change plugs and switches, and then I'm allowed to do faucets and sinks and things like that, and that's all within my insurance. So it's a little bit of a different game for people.
That's a great point that you bring up. You're insured.
Yep.
So you're going into people's homes to do work that they're paying for, but you're insured. So that's a safety net for them.
It is, yeah, and not a lot of customers ask for CODs and stuff like that, but anytime it's requested, I always provide it, and it's nice because I think I met my insurer through the agency as well here in the chamber,
Great.
and it's just great because I can just send an email and say, hey, I need this, and send it over here with this
Yeah.
address, because it has to. Sometimes you have to have the customer's information on it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's a great little tip of information for folks that are looking for a handyman is make sure your handyman's insured.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of stories from the past from other people, like, oh, I didn't know he wasn't insured, or he's not licensed, which is just a whole nother,
Mm-hmm.
can of worms to open up. The whole entire being licensed thing is another thing that you need to make sure that, there's boxes we need to check before we want to come out and touch and work on your house and do the things that you want done, because,
Yeah.
there's those things exist for a reason.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, before we close, is there anything that we didn't cover that you want to make sure that people, our listeners, know about? You have a website?
I don't have a website yet. It's one of those things that
Okay.
maybe I'm slacking on that. I do have
So you don't do websites.
I
You
don't do
do doors,
websites.
you do kitchens,
I
you
have
just
a
don't do
I
websites.
have a okay, listen. All right. I have a Facebook page, so I post
Okay.
everything on my Facebook page. I try to post like weekly and put my work on there, and
So there you go. So
yeah, and
people
so
can
it's
find you on the internet,
yep. You can find me on there. Big Red does exist on the internet.
and your a phone number if somebody wanted to get in touch with you.
Yeah, call 978-512-1286. You can call or text. You can also email me at bigredhandymannma@gmail.com.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Thank you for the amazing work that you've done for me personally. I've appreciated having you as a resource. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. And special thanks to our producer, AJ from Clear Sigma Productions, for the amazing work that he does for our podcast. Have a great day.